Welcome back to Cunningham's Law Review, where our goal is to listen to the top artists and songs of the last 100 years, starting way back in 1920. We review each one and share the history of popular music with you as we do. I'm Richie, and you're listening to Side A of episode 1920-2, where today we'll be talking about three great tenors, McCormick, Burr, and Steele. Each of these three artists attempted to sing heartsick songs full of yearning imagery meant to tug at the heartstrings, and the results range from tolerable to timeless. In case you're not familiar, there are 7 vocal types which describe the range that a performer can sing within, 3 female and 4 male. For women, the vocal ranges range from lowest to highest as contralto, mezzo-soprano, and soprano. And for men, that list goes bass, baritone, tenor, and countertenor. Today's singers are 3 tenors, Irishman John McCormack, Canadian Henry Burr, and American Jon Steele. As they are tenors, their voices are clear and relatively high, which allows them to sound as if they're classic and heroic opera stars. Jon McCormick, born 1884, got his start singing in Catholic church choirs as he grew up in Ireland and later did become an opera star. His family moved from Athlone, which you'll hear mentioned in one of his songs today, to Dublin, where he was quickly discovered by a vocal coach named Vincent O'Brien, with whom he started training formally. In 1903, McCormick won the gold medal at the Dublin Feis Ceoil, a singing contest of classical music performers. To all my Irish listeners, I do apologize for what I've just done to the Gaelic language by trying to say Feis Ceoil. Our American tenor of the day, Jon Steele, was born in 1895 New Jersey and packed a lot of variety into his show business run. He performed on Broadway and in London, fought in staged boxing matches, and served as one of Ziegfeld's Follies' most popular headliners, where he introduced the songs that we'll be hearing today. In 1921, his wife, who was divorcing him, said that he was receiving $2,000 a week in income from his singing and performing career. Adjusted for inflation, that's a salary of around $1.5 million per year. But by 1938, he would be bankrupt. Henry Burr, born in 1882 New Brunswick, is one of the most prolific recording artists of the acoustic era of music. Burr claimed that he had recorded over 12,000 individual pieces of music throughout his career. In 1901, Burr was discovered by Metropolitan opera singer Giuseppe Campanari, who happened to be performing in St. John, New Brunswick. After seeing Burr perform, he insisted that Burr formally be trained to hone his voice. Burr was not his given name, and in certain recordings where it would be beneficial, such as in recording Irish music, Burr recorded under his birth name, McCloskey. As an interesting note, it's been reported that Henry Burr is one of the highest-selling artists of all time, with over 240 million records sold throughout his career. If true, that would mean he's sold more records than Taylor Swift, Jay-Z, or Prince at the time of this podcast in 2020. And yet, almost no one today is familiar with his work unless you went to Ohio State or are a fan of Tiny Tim. Today, we can at least become more familiar with these tenors, so let's quit talking about today's music and start listening. If you're not already listening to this part of the podcast through the Spotify playlist, it's highly recommended that you look up the show on Spotify by searching for Cunningham's Law Review. On our Spotify page, you'll find a playlist that features this, the Side A part of the podcast, each of the songs that we'll be listening to today, and Side B of the podcast, where we recap the songs we've heard and review each of them on their own. Today's playlist is posted on Spotify under the title Cunningham's Law Review 1920-2. You can also find the link to the playlist on the Cunningham's Law Review subreddit at reddit.com/r/CunninghamsLawReview. We want to know what you think about our reviews and the music we're hearing, so make sure to join us on the subreddit or leave us an Anchor voicemail. That's all for Side A of episode 1920-2. We'll see you for the reviews after the songs on Side B.